This world is a muddied one. However, there are two things that are clear to me. There are good and there are evil. Yuruma-shun, a 12-year-old boy, is brutally bullied by 5 classmates, led by the sadistic Shigoku Kyo, who views Yuruma as a mere test subject. After the bullies torment Yuruma by killing his cat, Shigoku reveals his twisted goal: to drive Yuruma to suicide. 1 month after Yuruma moves away, Shigoku causes a fatal car accident that kills Yuruma's parents and leaves his brother in a coma. Yuruma is taken in by his estranged grandfather, a World War II veteran, who offers to train him in the art of revenge. 4 years later, Yuruma, hardened and fueled by vengeance, prepares to murder all of his past bullies. This is the beginning of the revenge horror series Juujika No Rokunin, or 6 People on Crosses. I've covered series with multiple scenes of gore, sexual violence, and torture before, but all of those series don't compare to the amount of brutality that this manga brings to the table. As a warning, this series talks a lot about sexual violence, animal cruelty, and some of the most gory visuals that I've ever seen. So if you guys are easily discouraged by that, then this isn't the series for you. So today, we're gonna go over a couple of volumes and see just how brutal this manga can really be.
But if you guys want to see more anime content like this one, then why not go down and hit that subscribe button.
And if you guys want a part 2 to this series, then let's reach 3K likes on this video. But without further ado, let's get on with it. Azuma Chizuru, a high school student, finds herself drawn to Yuruma, an unlikely crush due to his scrawny, bullied appearance. Despite her friend's shock, she begins helping him with school chores, growing closer and learning about his torment, though Yuruma brushes off her concerns. She wants to tell the teachers, but Yuruma gives her a dark glare and tells her that it's fine. One evening, Azuma is walking home when she sees Yuruma walking the same way. However, she's kidnapped by a pervert, but Yuruma intervenes, saving her and leaving her shaken yet grateful. Yuzuma tells her not to speak of this to anybody, but unbeknownst to her, this event marks a turning point for Yuruma, his first kill, proving to his grandfather that he's ready to take revenge on his tormentors. Starting with Senkouji Katsumi. There is a rule that he has to follow though. Let those who have changed go. People need a chance to change and be reborn, and 4 years is a long time, so the possibility is high. However, if nothing has changed, then that isn't a person, and they should be killed. Senkouji and Yuruma used to be friends back in elementary, until he joined Shigoku's group, but Senkouji out of the blue asks to hang out. Yuruma watches for signs of redemption but still keeps his guard up. At school, Yuruma sees Kuga and Senkouji talking about how Senkouji has been hanging out with Yuruma. Senkouji tells him that he has some regrets. The same day as they're walking home, Yuruma sees him save a kitten, which makes him reconsider. However, it's a trap. Azuma grabs him from behind and Senkouji knocks him out. Yuruma wakes up bound alongside a terrified Azumi, who's being blackmailed into helping Senkouji. Senkouji reveals that the thing that he regrets the most is not killing Yuruma. With Yuruma immobilized by a Torinawa knot and explosives set up around the room, Senkouji beats and tortures him, using a nail gun in a twisted display of power. But Yuruma stays eerily calm, recognizing Senkouji's fear of real violence. He's always hidden behind a tool and toys to cause pain. Senkouji begins to strangle him, but in a sudden turn, Yuruma escapes his restraints, and he shows him how to truly choke somebody out. Senkouji wakes up with chains holding him up and Yuruma preparing to deliver a brutal punishment. The room is suffocatingly hot, and Yuruma reveals that he had peeled off his skin, exposing raw nerves. Yuruma toys with him, shooting his exposed body with the same airgun that Senkouji once used on him, torturing him as he screams in agony. In his final moments, Senkouji admits his sadistic love for torturing Yuruma, but Yuruma coldly thanks him for his honesty, before shooting him repeatedly, killing him from shock. In the next room, Yuruma warns Azumi to keep quiet, or he'll kill her. The next day, his grandfather erases all traces of the crime, and Senkouji is reported missing. With only 4 bullies left, Yuruma visits his brother, vowing to finish his mission. The chapter ends with Officer Ota and Sergeant Anzai taking on the missing person case, but Anzai recognizes Senkouji's name. He was one of the boys involved in the Yuruma case 4 years ago. The story kicks off in a grimy karaoke bar packed with delinquent teens, all under the thumb of Ushiro Yuuga. A girl approaches him nervously, saying that she's done working for him and thanks him for the job. Ushiro begins dragging her outside and punishing her for even thinking that she could quit. After forcing her compliance, he gets a message from Shigoku to meet up. Meanwhile, detectives Anzai and Ota knocks on Yuruma's door. He assumes they're there about the case from 4 years ago, but is caught off guard when Anzai asks about the disappearance of Senkouji. Anzai then hits Yuruma with a heavy question. If someone killed your parents and left your brother in a vegetative state, what would you do? Yuruma's cold reply was, "I'd kill them." Both officers are shocked by his bluntness, but the tension breaks when Yuruma's grandfather intervenes. The detectives leave, but not without some unease. Elsewhere, Ushiro meets up with the remaining bullies. They're getting paranoid about Senkouji's disappearance, and they think that Yuruma may have something to do with it, but the past is catching up to them, and Shigoku can sense it, thinking Yuruma killed Senkouji. Days later, Ushiro introduces a new girl, Azuma, into his prostitution ring. Meanwhile, Yuruma digs into Yushiro's background at his school and learns about a missing girlfriend, with classmates saying that Ushiro hasn't been the same since her disappearance. At the bar, Azuma's friends rope her into working at the prostitution ring. As she's changing into her uniform, a boy tries to assault her, but Ushiro steps in, beats the guy senseless, and coldly reminds him that he has to pay for merchandise. Ushiro then heads back to his apartment where his missing girlfriend Karen is chained up. She's been completely broken by all of the years of abuse. Azuma accidentally witnesses the horror and barely escapes. The next day, she tells Ushiro she wants out, but he corners her, showing her a picture of Karen and pulling out a knife. But before he can do anything, someone interrupts them with a job for Azuma. Ushiro lets her go, but warns her to come straight back. Azuma heads to a hotel room to meet a client, only to find Yuruma there instead. She freaks out but is also kinda excited. Yuruma is there for answers about Ushiro. Flashbacks reveal that Ushiro had once assaulted Yuruma as well. In the present, Azuma confesses that she likes him, but he tells her that he can't get involved. He has to kill 4 more people first. She's unfazed and offers to help him instead. But what neither of them know is that Ushiro has been listening to their conversation through a microphone planted in Azuma's purse. Enraged, he gathers his gang to lock down the bar and hires a notorious thug named Gano to take care of Azuma. Gano, a violent psychopath since childhood, heads to the hotel room where Azuma is waiting for Yuruma. When Gano shows up instead, Azuma tries to escape, but he corners her in the bathroom. Just as things seem hopeless, Yuruma, disguised as Biker Man, bursts in. A brutal fight breaks out, but Gano's sheer strength overwhelms him. In a last-ditch effort, Yuruma uses a move that his grandfather taught him, targeting Gano's shoulder joints and finally taking him down. Yuruma is about to leave when Azuma leans in and kisses him, leaving him stunned. He then tells Azuma to call the police, and when the detectives arrive, Azuma covers for Yuruma by claiming that she was saved by Biker Man. Gano backs up her story but name drops Yushiro's name, which immediately raises Ansai's suspicion. Back at the bar, Ushiro senses something off. He gets a call that the building is on fire and his guards have been taken down. As the flames spread, Yuruma appears. Ushiro charges at him with a knife, but Yuruma quickly takes him down. When he wakes up, he's blindfolded and tied up to a chair. He pulls out the Pear of Anguish, a medieval torture device that opens up these blades like a flower, and instead of using it in a traditional way, he humiliates him by inserting it up his bum. As Ushiro screams in pain, Yuruma flips on the lights, revealing Karen standing there. Broken, but alive. Karen slowly walks up to Yushiro holding a smaller version of the pear of anguish. She asks him if he ever really loved her. Yushiro quickly denies it, calling her nothing but a meat toy to him. And Karen, in her anguish, tortures him by putting the device in his you-know-what. As his privates bleed out, Karen turns the device on herself. We get a flashback to how Karen and Yushiro met. Karen went to give her copy of the classwork to him, but he asks if she's scared of him, and she responds that people aren't always who they seem to be. And like that, he instantly fell in love. But in his dying moments, Yushiro cries out for Karen, but Yuruma shuts him up with a kick to the head, reminding him that he doesn't deserve to feel anything. Yushiro's final words are, "Yuruma, I'm sorry." The next day, Yuruma buries Karen and learns how to dissolve a body in acid. He leaves Karen's suicide note with her parents, but as he walks away, there is someone watching him from the shadows. The story picks up with Madoka Hiro caught abusing a little kid, only to be stopped by Shigoku and Kuuga. Furious and unhinged, Madoka argues that Yuruma needs to be killed, but Shigoku holds back, preferring to wait and watch how things play out. Madoka, enraged, finds another random kid and kills him by forcing a bottle of detergent down his throat, declaring that he will be the one to kill Yuruma. At school, Yuruma receives a mysterious letter, which Azuma assumes is from a secret admirer. The note leads him to meet Shirakawa Kaname, who saw him delivering Karen's suicide note. She assumes he's looking for Karen, but Yuruma denies it. Kaname's twin brother, Jun, also shows up, clearly trying to push the two together, much to Azuma's annoyance. The next day, their class starts preparing for a school festival, choosing to perform Romeo and Juliet. By random draw, Yuruma and Kaname are selected to be part of the committee and to play the lead roles of Romeo and Juliet. As they practice, things get awkward, especially during the kissing scenes, but Kaname makes her feelings clear. She's serious about liking him. Kaname reveals that she was also bullied back in elementary school by the same group that tormented him, until Yuruma shifted their focus away from her. She's felt guilty ever since, and this guilt has shaped her feelings for him. Before they leave, she wants to know how Yuruma feels by the end of the festival. Meanwhile, Madoka confides in Shigoku about his plans to kill Yuruma, and Shigoku is intrigued, so the plan is set for the day of the school festival. On the last night of the rehearsals, Yuruma meets up with Azuma and the Shirakawa twins at the park. For the first time in ages, Yuruma feels like he's experiencing something close to normal, fun even, but that's short-lived as he prepares to kill Madoka the day of the festival. The festival arrives and everything is ready for the play, but a suspicious package of drinks is delivered to the class, and Kaname is missing. Madoka has laced the drinks to make the students sick, intending to slip in and then kill Yuruma while the chaos unfolds. As he brags about his plan, Kaname overhears him. Before the drinks are served, a few students notice something's off, and Yuruma finds a note in the package, recognizing Madoka's handwriting. He bolts from the classroom, desperately searching for Kaname. Behind the gym, he finds her, beaten, bloodied, and her dress torn. Jun takes her home, but he asks Yuruma what happened. However, Yuruma is at a loss for words. At home, Madoka revels in his twisted victory, fantasizing about Kaname, when his mother slides him a letter from Yuruma, challenging him to a fight. Madoka sneaks to the meeting spot, but Yuruma is ready for him. In a flashback, we see Madoka as a child, once eager and innocent, building a robot named Super Bane at Shigoku's request. But after working tirelessly, Shigoku destroyed it, teaching Madoka that monsters enjoy destroying what humans work hard to build, and that it's really fun to be a monster. From then on, Shigoku becomes Madoka's god. Madoka then wakes up to find himself tied up, hands and feet bound, with his thumbs restrained. Yuruma questions why he hurt Kaname, but Madoka, deranged, screams that she's his now. In response, Yuruma slowly tightens the screws on the device, crushing Madoka's thumbs, causing him to scream in agony. But Yuruma remains cold, taunting him. You still don't realize what's most important, because you're not a person. As Yuruma leaves, Madoka escapes his restraints, thinking that he's won, only to collapse, noticing that his toes have been silently broken. Yuruma comes back and mocks him, dragging him back to the torture device with a sinister twist. As he turns the handle, Madoka's body begins to stretch, his joints tearing apart. Yuruma splashes water on his face, mocking him, saying that they're exorcising the demon inside him. Madoka, in his final moments, pleads for Shigoku, but Yuruma tells him that Shigoku doesn't care about him, or so it seems. Suddenly, Yuruma is struck from behind by none other than Shigoku. Overjoyed, Madoka watches as Shigoku turns the handle, ripping his arms apart. It's revealed that Shigoku is actually Yuruma's grandfather, disguised all along. Madoka has been hallucinating, the water Yuruma splashed on him laced with a powerful drug. The real Shigoku never cared. The next day, Madoka is reported missing, and Kaname takes a break from school to recover from her lung disease. After school, Yuruma sneaks to Kaname's house, knocking on her window and apologizing for what she went through, taking responsibility for her suffering. He reveals to her that he killed Madoka, and then tells her at the end to be strong, I want you to live. The chapter ends with now only 2 bullies left, and Kuga is ready to be the one to kill Yuruma. This series, while being a torture fest, is actually a really fun and brutal read. The art is so good and all of the characters shown are really fun to follow. The torture is only really good because the story between the distraught victim and the evil bullies is a concept that makes us root for a murder/anti-hero type character. We root for these murderers because we know that the evil bullies are 10 times worse than him, and we want to see them get the justice that they deserve. There are scenes in this series that I literally can't even show on YouTube because it is just too disturbing. Like the entire scene between Madoka and Kaname, and an alley scene with Gano. I've said multiple times that I really don't like sexual violence or torture if it doesn't impact the story or just uses it for shock factor. However, every scene that has these cruel acts serve a purpose. Even with Yuruma getting violated, something that I thought was just forced and unnecessary actually plays a big part in why Yuruma feels super uncomfortable in romantic situations. The police officers are also pretty dumb in my opinion. After the second bully goes missing and right after the conversation with Yuruma is finished, I think it was a little too obvious that Yuruma is a part of the whole operation, but the police don't really act on it. There's no search squad or questionings or anything really, when I think it's super obvious that he has to be a part of it, you know what I mean? But overall, I really like this series, but one thing I'm shocked at is how fast this series is going. With just 38 chapters, we are already down 3 bullies, and the rest will most likely be killed in the next 20 or 30 chapters. But this series is 182 chapters long and still ongoing. So I'm afraid that this series is just gonna go downhill after the bullies arc. But I am very excited to see how Yuruma kills the remaining 2 villains, and if you guys are too, then let's go ahead and reach those 3K likes. But thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to join the Discord server, the link will be in the description below. And if you guys like more horror manga videos like this one, then why not hit that subscribe button. But I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.